Hi guys, welcome back to Watch Me Build. So if you're new around here, I build and mod watch and share them on this channel. So feel free to subscribe if you want more of such content. So today we're going to do a Seiko mod using the NH34 movement in the inspiration of GMT Sprite. So you can see I have the parts all ready, the iconic black, green 24-hour marker outer bezel, along with a really beautiful black dial. So anyways, all of these parts will be listed down below in my description, including the tools that I use. So feel free to purchase them and follow along this video if you ever want to try your hands on building one of them. And if you are interested in getting one of these pieces that are assembled by me, feel free to drop your interest in the comments, or even just drop me an email that you can find on the profile description of this channel. So without further ado, let's begin on this build. So today we are using the NH34 movement, and I recently published a video, an introduction on this movement. So if you are interested to learn more about how to operate a GMT watch, some fun facts and about this movement, feel free to watch the video after this. Right, so over here you can see I'm putting this very tiny washer. So when you purchase this NH34 movement, it should come with this very tiny washer that has a slight concave upwards. So what you need to do is to make sure that you put this tiny washer with the U shape upwards into the middle of the movement first before fixing the dial on it. The reason being is that this helps to separate the dial and the movement itself, prevent any jamming of the gears in the movement, specifically the one that switch between the GMT function and the date function. So I have past experiences whereby I did not put the washer in, and then when I tried to tweak between the GMT movement and the change of date, I actually broke the gear and I have to replace it, which is an extreme hassle. So please remember to do it, to fix the washer on before you put the dial on. Right. Aside from that, everything else is the same as your normal NH35, NH36 builds. Okay. So NH34 movements have been extremely expensive recently. I hope the price will come down soon, and if you're interested, feel free to get a couple of pieces now. Sometimes you can get vouchers off AliExpress, and then just keep them in stock, since I'm sure you will use it sooner or later. Right. So anyways, going back to the build, it's a really nice GMT Sprite that we are building. So I have also gotten the hands. Comes along with it the iconic green GMT hand. So the first thing you need to do, of course, is to make sure that the date is properly tweaked, such that at the point whereby the date wheel flicks is where you want to put all of the hands on, so that whenever the watch hits midnight, the date changes. Right, so I think a good gauge should be more or less plus minus 5 minutes or even 10 minutes, some say. Right, so the first thing to do is to put on the GMT needle, of course. So the GMT needle goes all the way down at the bottom, and I'm not sure about you or anyone who have been modding. Personally, I prefer using this set of tweezers to just press down on the sides of this GMT needle after I align it at the center. I find that by doing so, I can actually have greater control and more precisely push it down properly. So you can see this is the only part whereby I did not make use of any hand pusher, mainly just this tweezer. Once I got it centralized with the 12 o'clock marker, just use the tweezer very slightly, just give it a light press on all angles of the center of the GMT hand. So make sure that everything is affixed properly. Right, so once this is done, of course, your standard hour hand, minute hand, and seconds hands, those I will be using the standard hand pusher. And I've also bought a kind of like hand pusher kit, whereby it has already affixed the hand pusher straight for me. All I have to do is just to align the dial and the movement directly under it, and I give it an easy push, it gets in really easily. Also, I will be linking that down in the description. I did not use it here because this video was quite dated, so I only purchased that recently. Yep. But anyways, more or less everything else is the same. And if you are just looking to try out, I would suggest just getting these very simple hand pushers. But of course, if you want to be a little bit more professional in a way, then feel free to get one of those tool kit, right? So yep, watch on, and I'll catch you in the next part. So you can see the 3 hands previously took some time, but I was pretty happy with the outcome. Everything kind of went and aligned perfectly. So second hand in this time round as well, also really easy. So I've been building GMT in mods a couple of times already, so I kind of like get more or less the hang of it. Yeah, but I think then again, this way of fixing the second hand is really almost a foolproof method that I've been using, and I really swear by it. It's easy. You just have to align it from the side, look into it, make sure everything is well, just give it a light push, it fixes on. Very simple. And if it doesn't, just make sure that just give yourself a break, try again. Yeah, but I think in a couple of times, after a couple of practices, you'll be able to get it on straight away in just one try, but as I shown in this case. And what I like to do after I've done put on the second hand in, I like to take another hand pusher to just give it a slight push to make sure that it's in all the way and tight nicely. So sometimes when I don't do that and I put it into the case, I realize that actually the second hand still sits pretty high because it's not all the way in, and what happens is it gets stuck sometimes, or it runs down the power reserve really quickly. So we want to avoid that. So therefore it's advisable to make sure that you use one of the hand pusher to make sure that it sits nice and tight together with the rest of the hands and close to the dial. Right, so once everything is done, of course, standard using case, give it a good clean. Make sure you test out the crown and the stem, measure the length, trim it off, sand it off. I don't usually show how I trim the stem because I always do it in a bin, because I don't want the residue of the stem to be flying around, but really just give it a nice cut using the plier that I have in the description, and then just sand it down slightly to make sure that the surface is nice and smooth, and you will be good to go. So you can see, I like how overall the watch turned out. Fits perfectly the movement along with the dial. Of course, second hand is moving well, right? And then you can see at 12 o'clock, when everything aligns at 12 o'clock marker, the date flicks. So really happy with how this turned out. And then now, like I've mentioned, you have to trim the stem. So once you trim the stem, if they are still slightly longer than what you would like as compared to when it's sitting nice and tight, it would be good to just sand it down. Try not to cut it anymore because you might risk over cutting it. So try and like spend some time to sand it down with the sandpaper, and then try again. I'm sure it will be nice and tight by then, right? So takes a bit of practice, but after a while, after building a couple of mods, you kind of like no longer need to measure. You more or less roughly get the idea of how much to cut and how much to sand. So the finished product, you can see really nice GMT Sprite. Colors look nice. I also have one built previously that is left-handed, so I will take some time to perhaps edit that video and then upload, but everything else is the same. It's just that you need a left-handed dial as well as a left-handed date wheel on the NH34. Okay, so feel free to subscribe to me and let me know what else you want to see, and I'll see you in the next video.